Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep this in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Ready for an unforgettable escape? Jump into adventure at Lake Martin, Alabama. From thrilling water sports to peaceful fishing spots, it's love at first bite every time you cast your line. Want more excitement? Catch an event with our vibrant festivals, concerts, and fishing tournaments all year long. And when the sun sets, dive downtown to discover local shops, delicious dining, and warm southern hospitality. Explore Lake Martin, where every moment is an adventure waiting to happen.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone 256-750-0381 or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality. 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 Reality.
Hi, this is Brian Box with Vice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Vice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Vice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Vice Motors.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
There's only one option.
Don't put your head down and be somebody different than you are. Right. Now, you and I may want him to put his head down and be somebody different, but the coach knows how to get the best out of their players. And I think that Bruce Pearl was making a statement there and going, look, man, what do you want me to do? You want me to apologize to somebody that's out there playing hard and playing tough, and he may do some things that we wish he would pull back, but it's part of what makes him who he is? You know, I appreciate that. And I'm sure that somebody playing for a coach like that, if you've ever had a coach that defended you to the nth, you'll never forget that guy the rest of your life, because that guy probably made you do some things that others couldn't because you knew that they'd run through a brick wall for you, and vice versa, you'd do the same for them. So when I watched Bruce Pearl do that as an Auburn fan, I'm like, man. And I know mine and your emotional state probably is very close to that most of the time. I would have died 14 different times if I would have chosen coaching.
Oh, man, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, I'd be deader than I'd be deader than a doornail if I would have chose coaching as a profession. You know me very well, Brett. There's no way I could have lived through 25 years with how high strung I am, competing as competitive as I am day in and day out. I'd die. 10 heart attacks.
Did you see the Zoom? I don't know if you saw it or not, or caught it. There was a moment right there when Chad Baker fouled and got his third foul, I think, in the second half, and things weren't going good for Auburn yesterday. And that the look on Bruce Pearl's face, and I'll kind of segue into that. He's got a look of concern, man. It's like everything we're trying to do is not working, and you can look in somebody's face, and when you can genuinely tell if they're really concerned about something. That look, I almost screenshot it and sent it to y'all and said, look, this is the look of a guy that is worried this thing's about to fall apart. I mean, it's not the same Auburn team that we've seen majority of the year. He knows what's in the back of most people's minds, that Auburn gets to this point every year and they seem to fizzle out. Not necessarily in the SEC tournament, but when it comes time to March, I mean, Auburn for the NCAA tournament in March, he's been out of the first round 4 out of the 5 times he's made it since he's been in Auburn. And we've had some really good basketball teams, a la that Jabari Smith, Walker Kessler team that got beat in the second round by Miami and got beat pretty bad. So we've had some bad performances. One to Clemson, got killed. That Miami performance. The year we went to the Final Four, we beat New Mexico State by 1 point in the first round. They had a shot in the corner on the way to win it. If it goes in, we don't make it past the first round that year. So I think all of that, he's looking at how the team is playing, and then all that's probably rushing through the back of his mind, because we've said this a million times. I know we got to get the break. We can keep this discussion going on line and through to the next segment for TV, but you're remembered for what you do in March. And, frankly, Auburn's resume hasn't been real good in March the last several years, even though they've had some phenomenal teams, some of the best teams we've ever seen. So let's get to break. We'll come back, and I'll let you give your thoughts on that on the other side. All right, so stay tuned, everybody. More to come here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone, 256-750-0381, or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
We hit back on Alabama real good.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Look, if you're looking for a place to go watch the game in Alexander City, go check out JR Sports Bar and Grill. They'll have all the TVs on, great food. You know, it's all served for you right there, so you don't have to worry about anything. Go in there and hang out with your friends or your family, watch the game. And I'll give a shameless plug, too, here on this show for some friends of ours in Auburn at Bunkers. If you want to go find a place in Auburn to watch the game today, go to Bunkers. They're sponsors of our Auburn Blitz show and, our podcast in the mornings. Really appreciate Alan and KJ and Wes and all those guys down there. Bunkers is a phenomenal place. Randy, you and I have been in there several times, and the atmosphere is unbelievable. The setup is awesome. So it's set up perfectly for March Madness. That's the place you want to go camp out for March Madness, is right there at Bunkers.
Well, just plenty of room, in two different venues. You got plenty of room to park, got 50 parking spots underneath, the back entrance level. And so that makes it ease. And in downtown Auburn, that's something I think about everywhere that I go. Where am I going to park? I mean, it's gotten congested and grown up so much. But then when you get inside, there's plenty of room to move around and not feel like you're right on top of one another. So it's a wonderful venue, and we're very proud and blessed to have both of those two great businesses, JR Sports Bar and Grill and Bunkers, as part of all of our programming.
No doubt about it. Dive back into, we were carrying over the Auburn talk, and we'll bounce over and talk Alabama too here in a minute with Florida. But, the lack of being able to, like you said, get production out of the interior outside of Janai Broome. If I have a positive, I said it online just then during the break. If I do have a positive I'm carrying, it's that we're getting the old version of Janai Broome back, the player of the year. And you seem to think he's probably got that locked up. I agree with you. I'm going to say he should have it locked up. Now, the media and everybody that votes, they do some bizarre things sometimes. And I know Cooper Flagg still got a lot of people out there that are saying that he deserves it. But Randy, I kind of gave my case a couple of days ago with you on the podcast. When I ran off Duke's resume versus Auburn's, and you see what Janai Broome's done versus look, it's not taking anything away from Cooper Flagg, and he can't help who his opponents are, and he can't help the way they've played this year. But I said it, if you flipped them and you put Cooper Flagg on Auburn and put Janai Broome on Duke, they're going to still be the same. But I'd say Cooper Flagg probably would deserve the player of the year at that time, because he's played a much tougher road and had a harder road to get where he's gotten, and he's been able to put those numbers up. So it's not a shot. Both of them are outstanding. Both of them probably deserve player of the year. But if I'm looking at the resume, Janai Broome wins.
No, I'd be shocked at this point if Janai didn't win. And here's my reason for it. First off, I think he deserves it. I agree with you on that. But I think the most important thing is timing. So if Janai went out before the SEC tournament or in the first couple of minutes of the SEC tournament, and Auburn went on and played pretty well and had a chance to win it without Janai as part of it, and he missed out on all of those eyeballs being on him to win, Brett, I think that it would cost him. If vice versa, Cooper Flagg averaged 25 and 15 during that stretch and and took Duke to even the ACC championship or the championship game. And so that's what Janai's got going for him. And he's already winning most of the other awards that are coming out. And I do think it's deserved. And I think part of it, I think it's deserved just based off of performance this year, but I've also think that it's deserved based off the lifetime of what he's done in college basketball.
Right.
And for those college basketball fans that don't take that into consideration, and those writers that don't, they're what's going to really hurt this game. Because you do like to see someone progress and get better and maybe not be the guy that is the Cooper Flagg, who's the number one pick in the draft.
Sure.
Anybody that watches that kid play, you know, I mean, they've known that since he was 13 or 14 years old. He's exceptional. And to come in and prove it the way that he has after all of that hoopla is LeBron James-esque. For those of you that don't like LeBron James, you can't have an argument that guy came from the top player at 14 years old. He's been the top player, and
I love that LeBron James version. I don't like this LeBron James version.
You may not like it, but this LeBron James version on the court's amazing. It's unbelievable that you're going 28, 8, and 8 at 41. Is that how old he is? I mean, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan and I don't want to get off on this rant. We can if you want to. But 28, 8, and 8 at 41 years old, playing the way that he is, Brett, that's asinine. Michael Jordan wasn't playing that way. Nowhere near that level at that age, Brett. Not even close. I mean, when he came back, he was nowhere near the player that he was when he left the Bulls after that run with those 3 championships. He was a 22, 23 point per game guy, you know, a 4 rebound, 4 assist guy. This guy's getting 28, 8, and 8 still, and he's 3 or 4 years older than Michael was during that stretch. So my point on Cooper Flagg, though, is Cooper Flagg, as much hoopla as he's had, is going to have to play that way when he gets in the NBA. But he has played that way at Duke, so I tip my hat to him. But I think Janai's got this thing won.
Yeah, Glenn said, have we seen where they're offering Flagg $50 million to stay at Duke next year? $50 million? I don't know about that, Glenn. I may be wrong. That's the first I've seen it. If they pay somebody $50 million to stay at a college, I quit.
They may offer him to stay there for 50. If you told me there was a $50 million number out there for him to stay the next 2 or 3 years, because that's how much money he's worth in the NBA.
Well, there's no doubt about it. But I'm just saying, look, we got a whole nother thing. UNLV can't even pay Dan Mullen to coach, okay, after they signed him. I mean, look, we are living in a clown show when it comes to college athletics. Like, so I get it. Like, I hear all this, and I don't want to go down this path today, but I mean, at some point in time, absurdity has hit a completely and totally new level in what we're dealing with in this world. So I know, what is anybody worth? Like you've said, the Nick Saban thing and all. I understand all that, but do you have a treasury where you can just go print money? You know, that's kind of why our country's kind of gone to hell. And the reason everybody is in dire straits and, you know, things just continue to spiral downhill is because, you know, everybody said, oh, we'll just go print some more. Oh, that ain't no matter. You ain't got to manage that. Just go ahead and build up some more debt. I mean, to the point UNLV signed a guy that they can't pay. They had to go back and say, hey, man, I know I signed you to a 5-year contract, but I can only pay you for 1. What is going on, man? Like, that is so unbelievably egregious as far as incompetent. I can't even begin to describe that. I mean, you got guys that are being paid to manage an athletic department and a president of a university that agreed and a board of trustees that says, yeah, we can go pay this coach this amount of money when you really didn't have the money. I don't know what world we're living in. I know we got to get to break. We'll talk about it on the other side, but this is crazy. This is crazy stuff. So I know Cooper Flagg's awesome, but is he $50 million in college, man? I mean, there's a reason the NBA is the NBA, and there's a reason that the NFL is the NFL. This ain't the NBA, and this ain't, for lack of better terms in my slang language this morning, this ain't the NFL. So, all right, we'll go to break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone, 256-750-0381, or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Come back in 5 seconds. Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. NIL, Randy, was designed to allow a student athlete to go sign a contract with a third party and make money off name, image, and likeness. Okay, that's, if you want a definition of what that is, there it is. Now, that's not what it is anymore. It never really was in college sports. It's how much are we going to say NIL's worth that the college is going to pay you. So that's basically what's going on. And so I don't know if, from that standpoint, how much that flag's getting from somebody else and how much that's coming directly from Duke. And you and I talked about that too. We never did figure out, nor have we ever had anybody on this show ever give us an explanation of how the collective worked versus how the university tied in. Now with the taxes and all, and the collectives are under assault now because they know that there's a lot of things going on. So there's possibly going to be some legislation to maybe separate from that. I don't know what's all going to end up happening. All I know is there's a lot of money getting thrown around, and pretty much it's being funneled through the college.
Well, that's exactly the way that we heard it several years ago when I couldn't get my head around it from one of the key guys that I think was the brainchild of what went on at Alabama. And brilliant businessman, a Donald Trump figure, and in the area that you and I grew up in, as far as just a brilliant guy that if he's in the room, he's the elephant in the room. And I think he was highly involved in that and explained that how many times to me and you, Brett. And I couldn't, when he told, and when the guy that was semi putting it together said it, I couldn't get my head around it. But that's what it's become. They have found the gray area legally to be able to pay out these salaries. And so you can say the $50 million may come from different areas, but the beauty of the collective is you can go to Cooper Flagg and say, we're committing to you $50 million over the next 3 years if you'll commit to us. We've got to go out and find the money to offset that through the collective.
Exactly right.
We aren't putting that on you to go out there and find that money. We're going to go out there and find that money, and that's where the legal jargon is hard for me to get my head around, but that's what it's become. And I don't necessarily like it, but it is what it is.
And I know this is apples to oranges, but this is kind of where we were going with this. UNLV's AD comes out and says we are unable to pay for final 3 seasons of Dan Mullen's contract. He hasn't even coached yet. This was reported by Sports Illustrated first. AD Eric Harper says athletic department's nearly $31 million in debt, but hopes to raise the money through donations and increase revenue from football games. I mean,
Colorado did the same thing, didn't they? Weren't they in debt when they went out and got Deion?
Probably.
And they got Deion committed into
I don't know that Dan Mullen's going to bring to UNLV what Deion brought to Colorado, though.
He will not. Now he may bring them a much better football team. I'm not saying that I think Dan Mullen's a good football coach.
Yeah.
He's not going to fill in the stands the way that Deion did based off.
He's not going to market like him either.
Heck no.
So I mean, let's look at it from a business standpoint that Colorado's probably going, yeah, that's what we need to get out of debt. We need a dynamic person to come in here and put spotlight on us no matter our results. See, here's the thing. People are talking about Colorado. You don't even really know about their results, right? Could you tell me what their record was this year? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was the year before. They were pretty bad. But everybody was like, well, Deion, and he's selling sunglasses, and he's wearing a cowboy hat, and game day's out there, and there's people all over the place, and he's got
Heisman Trophy winner.
Right, Heisman Trophy, got people coming in. So they're made money off of this deal, whether you want to call it a publicity stunt or whatever. And Dan Mullen is not going to bring that to a program that's $31 million in debt. He's a good coach, Randy. But he doesn't have that marketing prowess that Deion Sanders, not many do, first of all. I agree. Not many do anyway. But Dan Mullen's not going to help UNLV get out of debt. Now, his job's to put a good product on the field, which will in turn increase attendance and some things like that. But that's not going to be enough to get them out of debt. So they're sitting there rolling the dice on somebody coming out there and going out and and UNLV's in a unique spot, man. They're in Las Vegas, where a lot of people don't really give a rat's rear end about college athletics. I'm just going to be honest about it. I mean, the reason UNLV basketball was great is because Jerry Tarkanian was out there. I loved the Running Rebels back then. They played that outlawish style of basketball. I loved it when they beat the hell out of Duke 103-73 that year. I enjoyed every second of that game. I remember they went on a 33-6 run in that game, sent Dan Hurley to the bathroom. He was so messed up in that game. He had gone and almost pooped his britches. So he had gone to the locker room. But anyway, that was UNLV had to rise up to the level of the star power of Las Vegas. Nobody talks about. Now they got the Raiders out there, and they've got the Knights, the NHL team. UNLV gets lost, so everybody's wanting to put money in places. And I know Vegas has got a bunch of money, but they're not lining up at the door to sponsor UNLV athletics.
I'll say this about college sports, though, in general, though, Brett. You almost have to take a risk like that if you're over an athletic department that's dying. What else do you do?
I don't know that you do anything else. You're right.
I mean, you just keep going and hiring some mediocre coach and hope and pray that you catch lightning in a bottle. I mean, what's the odds of that happening? I don't think the odds are very high at all. So, I mean, it's just a little bit different dynamic when you come over to an Auburn where we're trying to find the right piece to take this football program to the next level. But we're in a rabid fan base area where you really can go and talk the money out of the pockets of the donors around here. But I agree with you. There's way too many other options over there in that market to throw your money at it if sports is, your passion. And so I don't see it working, but I don't know what you do. If I put myself in the shoes of their athletic director, I take the risk. What do I have to lose?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I mean, that's one way to look at it, because if you think that the ship is sinking and you're down to no other options, I mean, I do applaud them for going out and getting a coach like Dan Mullen, but it took a contract like this to get him there. And they pretty much went in there and said, look, we ain't got the money to do this, but we're going to go on and sign him. And he can at least coach for 1 year. And hopefully in the meantime, we can get some guys out here and we can raise some money and try to get this thing going in the right direction. And if it fails, it probably collapses all the way out at that point. But I think that's what, as we're about to go to our next break, Randy, I think you're going to start to see some of these schools collapse financially. They can't compete with some of the top end schools. They're trying to do that, but they don't have the income or the revenue stream to do it. And they're taking chances like that, hoping that it would work out. Again, Colorado took a chance and it worked because it was Deion Sanders. He's an outlier, man. There ain't another one of him out there. So you either have a athletic department like you see with Auburn and Alabama and Florida and Tennessee and Georgia and those in Ohio State that have, a very secure backing with a conference like the SEC and the success and the deals that are cut with the TVs and stuff like that. Plus you have huge donation bases that come in and donate money to your cause, or you're a UNLV type where you're out there trying to stay up, keep your head above water. And man, it's just going to get tougher and tougher. And if Mississippi State and, some of those teams in the SEC weren't in this conference, man, they'd be in the same boat.
Totally
the same boat. So
I think what's going to happen, I know we got to go to a break, but you're going to have to pick the sports that you want to be competitive in.
That's it.
But if you're in the SEC, you got to try to be competitive in all, or they're going to kick you out of the conference.
Well, that's what they said.
Yeah, you're in a tough predicament in the SEC, but the rest of you don't necessarily have to play football. It may be more beneficial for you to get out of football and throw all of your resources at one or two sports, and I think that's what we'll start seeing, Brett.
I think you're right. I agree 100%. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. A lot more to come right after this.
Hello, this is Little Mo right here with you from DLR Us Auto Sales. At DLR Us, we have multiple sedans and SUVs. Come see us at 33445 U.S. Highway 280, Childersburg, Alabama, 35044. Call us at 256-267-3257. Let's make a deal, people. Our down payment is based on $500 down. With the approval of credit, we make it happen. We work with you. We got the choice for you, and we make the right deal.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, is looking for the next hometown hero. Hometown heroes could be first responders, public service workers, community leaders, pastors, community volunteers, or anyone who is making a difference in your hometown. Submit your nominations now online at myhscu.com. And if your nominee is selected, they will get a $100 Visa cash card and a certificate of appreciation from Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, federally insured by the NCUA.
Illinois Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillaby Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillaby Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or in Montgomery, 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Final segment here in hour number one. Get your comments in. We got a lot of them rolling in, and we'll hit those as we go. Obviously, today is going to be a big day in Nashville. You've got Alabama and Florida that will take on or will play right after Auburn and Tennessee at noon. So there is going to be some really bad weather in Nashville, just like it's going to be here. So, I looked at the map and it looked like about the time Auburn and Tennessee to get started, that weather will be moving into Nashville, and it's probably going to stay a while. So if you're traveling to and from today, you better be very aware of what's going on. And I think like the epicenter's in Birmingham, Randy, like the heart of all of this is like in that corridor, which is very close to us, right around in Alex City when you kind of drew a line down the middle of the state. So it's bad everywhere. There's not a segment of the state today that you can say, oh, we're not in harm's way, and that's something to be mindful for. And we just say that because we know there's a lot of Auburn and Alabama fans that watch the show and that are probably heading up to Nashville right now, maybe, and are up there watching. I know Wade's up there and several other people that we know. Randy, just be aware of your surroundings and what's going on up there. But this is going to be a great two basketball games. We talked about it earlier in the show, and we'll carry this conversation in. We haven't even had a chance to dive into the details of this game yet because we've kind of gone down a rabbit hole on a couple other things this morning. But these are like a Final Four. This is a Final Four matchup I keep saying Las Vegas, in Nashville. That could potentially be four teams if they were all spread out on different sides of the bracket. I wouldn't be shocked to see all four of them in San Antonio. Seriously.
No, I wouldn't either. If they didn't end up having to play each other,
right,
in the championship game to make it to the Final Four. That's how good I think all of these teams are. And when's the last time that you've had the Final Four teams in the SEC be four of the top six teams in the rankings going into that ball game? Do you think that's ever happened? Probably never.
I don't think so. Not in this conference history.
The SEC's going to, if Lenardi and the others that are making the talking heads when it comes to who's going to make the bracket, 14 out of 16 teams, the way that Texas played here in this tournament, have a potential of making it in to the tournament. And I think that they're all, if you played any of them, now we could show up that first weekend and 8 out of the 14 lose. But if you told me any of them made the Sweet 16, I'd go, I can see it. If you told me Texas made the Sweet 16 playing the way that I just saw them play, I'd say, I get it. Yeah, I can see that. If you told me that Ole Miss team, which is physically a really good-looking basketball team.
They are.
if you told me they made the Sweet 16, of course you and I could get it. And that Kentucky team last night, but I think that tells you the difference between these 4 teams and the others. You wanted the matchups that we're getting today, and they were able to get through and give you that matchup. And so that tells you that I think the separation, though, even to say that those other 10 teams that round out that 14 that have a chance of making the tournament could all be Sweet 16 teams. The 4 that are at the top of that, if they don't make the Sweet 16, it would be a very disappointing season or an end to the season for all 4 of our teams. And I think that's, speaking of mouthful, we'll start with Alabama and Florida, Brett. I think they're playing the 2 best basketball in the country right now. I mean, Alabama just wins by 30 against a really good Kentucky team last night. And Alabama's scoring the ball at will. Alabama had the team enough to come into Neville Arena. If you'd told me that earlier in the season that Alabama was going to be good enough to come to Auburn and win, I'd said, you're crazy. Now, I mean, we may go over there and lose, but there's no way they're coming to Auburn and beating us, but they did. We had a chance to win. They had a chance to win. That was a 50-50 game. Sears hit a shot, Janai didn't. But tells you they're good enough to be in it to that level. So I think the 2 best teams that are playing right now are Florida and Alabama, and it tells you how big a shot that was for Auburn to win that SEC regular season championship with that Tennessee shot going down to knock off Alabama that day. That was massive to keep us from having to play one of these 2 teams in the semifinals, Brett.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, and you look at the last matchup between Alabama and Florida just a few weeks ago, back on March the 5th. Florida wins the game 99-94. That was a situation where, they went into Coleman Coliseum and they were able to beat Alabama at their game. And that's scoring a lot of points. Now, Alabama, this is what you saw last year with Alabama hitting their stride and Grant Nelson playing better and then getting some guys to kind of step up their game that maybe haven't. I mean, LeBaron Filon's playing the best basketball he's played all year right now. So they're going to be a problem. They're hard to defend. They love to score in the 90s. If you can keep them out of the 90s, you got a chance to beat them. There's no doubt about it. And the thing that I've watched, they shot the ball poorly yesterday from outside in the first half. In the second half, they found their range. They were still up 6-7 in the first half on Kentucky and hadn't made a 3-pointer. I mean, but what they didn't do last night was turn the ball over. And that's a huge deal. I think they scored 16 points in the first half off Kentucky turnovers. And Kentucky's, that's been their problem all year. They've been so lackluster on taking care of the basketball, and they don't defend well at all. I mean, we've seen that up close and personal when we played them. Kentucky hadn't defended anybody all year, so they play poor defense, and they're careless with the ball. That's why they get beat a lot of times against good teams.
Injuries have hurt them more than they've hurt the rest of us. We've all had our moments where we've had players out, but
they've been devastated.
Kentucky's lost 2 of the best players in the conference. And one of them being a guard. So that
hurts you especially with turnovers.
Those are big time losses. But back to a couple of the points that we made. How much time we got, Brett?
We've got about a minute. Right here.
Back to a couple of points we made though. When Alabama's playing that 4 and 5 out offense and they're getting shots up in 10 seconds, Auburn's done a pretty good job. I mean, Alabama got to the 90s against Auburn at Neville Arena, but it took overtime to get them there. I mean, if you can hold Alabama in the high 70s and mid 80s, that's about as good as you're going to do, getting up as many shots as they do. But my point on the 4 out and 5 out offense that they run is if you let them get that little staggered screen up top and get downhill basketball on you, and then penetration like Mark Sears does and kicking it back out on the wings, and 3-point shots are floating from everywhere based off of that dribble drive that they're able to pull off. And, I think the X factor is LeBaron Filon. He had 21 last night, Brett, and it's really hard to keep him from getting where he wants to go. His length is a problem. He's got a little bit. He's a better athlete. He's a better athletic version to
Colin Sexton.
CBM to me.
Yeah, they compared him to Colin Sexton last night, which I
don't
thought
think
was.
he's as good an athlete as Colin Sexton, but I think that he's a longer athlete than Colin Sexton. But I think he's a more physical version of CBM to me. When he wants to, and Miles Kelly, when he wants to go downhill, Brett, he can get the ball to the bucket and score it. I don't think he's a great shooter. He's nowhere near the shooter that Miles Kelly is. But man, he is a problem. He was a problem at Auburn, and he was dang sure a problem against Kentucky. They had no answer for him.
Yep. Yeah, good points. All right, we're at the top of the hour here, so everybody stay tuned. 1 hour left here on the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Gorees Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
Ready for an unforgettable escape? Jump into adventure at Lake Martin, Alabama. From thrilling water sports to peaceful fishing spots, it's love at first bite every time you cast your line. Want more excitement? Catch an event with our vibrant festivals, concerts, and fishing tournaments all year long. And when the sun sets, dive downtown to discover local shops, delicious dining, and warm southern hospitality. Explore Lake Martin, where every moment is an adventure waiting to happen.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Take your pick of a massive selection of brand new GMC Sierras, discounted up to $13,250 off. New GMC Terrains, the popular SUV featuring safety, technology, and performance, discounted up to $7,500 off. Enjoy no payments until summertime. Choose from over 500 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 here of the Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. We'll take your comments. Some of them are rolling in. Michael said we had some of the worst passes I've seen all year, just lazy. That's my point. You know, it's kind of what I was just saying here online during the break for everybody on TV. I just, right now, just the energy level is not there for this Auburn team. I don't know why. And I thought they played with a good energy at home against Alabama. They lost the game in overtime. But the energy level was not there against Texas A&M, and it definitely wasn't there last night or yesterday afternoon against Ole Miss. We were just better than them, had a chance to kind of impose our will inside with Janai Broome, and it ended up working out. So I got to see a little bit better energy level from this Auburn team today. Tennessee's going to bring it, man, in there. We've had their number in that building. I think they're sick of it. We beat them in a rock fight game earlier in the year, 53-51. They want to beat Auburn, and they know that this could kind of maybe help them a little bit, maybe get a number 1 seed over Florida or Alabama. And all 3 of those teams are still trying to get a number 1 seed. So, we can keep saying all this about Auburn. Well, it doesn't. We've got it locked up and all that, and we do. But that's over with now. We're in March, man. You need to start playing with a little urgency. There is no tomorrow when you lose in March.
Well, I'd like to see us get the, if the brackets turn out like they're supposed to, and I've been saying this a few weeks, but I'd like to see us, if we get the number 1 overall seed, that we actually play the number 8 overall seed in the regional final to head on to the Final Four. And I think that's big. The difference between the 5th and the 8th ranked team may be playing Tennessee in that regional final. Because right now, for me, Tennessee's the 5th best team in the country. And then getting the other, because the only other 2 that I'm more scared of outside of those 4, maybe they're the 6th best team in the country. I'm more scared to play Tennessee than Houston, is the reason that I put them as the 5th best team. I think Duke's in there with the rest of us.
Right.
But I think that Tennessee team, and we've seen Houston earlier in the year, is just a more, it's hard to say that anybody plays defense better than Houston the way that they do, Brett, but I think that from an offensive standpoint, when Tennessee's hitting, they're a better offensive team than Houston. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Tennessee, Rick Barnes, this is what you get with them. They are not an offensive juggernaut by any stretch, but they're going to defend you and push you around and knock you around worse than anybody in the country. And so you kind of know what you're getting with them. They force you to play their style of basketball. You can't really run away with them. You can't get on runs against Tennessee and feel like you're ever comfortable. Ed said, agree, Brett, but one more point. We will only go as far as how physical we are allowed to be by officiating. Alabama versus Kentucky was officiating to play a lot more physical than our game. Being physical helps. So there's no question. And, today will be a very, I guess, word I'm looking for, a game that a lot of people are going to kind of pay attention to as far as, again, this is not going to be you can't carry this game into the NCAA tournament because you're going to get officiating crews from other places, and they may call a lot closer games than what we get in the SEC a lot of times.
Yeah,
most of the time it's a physical, beat you up type of style, and we have teams in the SEC struggle with trying to adapt to that. When you've done it for 18, 19, 20 straight games, and then you have to go in the NCAA tournament, and then you got an officiating crew from the Big 12, and they call every little ticky-tack touch, then it affects your mentality and how you approach the game. So, today they may just let them punch each other in the face. You may get a straight 12-round boxing match between Tennessee and Auburn, but in a week, both of those teams may have to adapt to an officiating crew that if you touch somebody on the fingernail, they may call a foul. So it's an adaptation. You got to figure it out.
I've been saying this. So getting that potential overall number 8 seed, if you can close this thing out, Auburn make it to the championship game. I think that if Auburn makes it to the championship game, they've got a good enough argument to be the number 1 overall seed, get that South bracket, and hopefully get number 8. But here's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's just give you a rundown of who those teams are currently. But 6 is St. John's. Would you take that matchup to go to the Final Four? I can tell you I would. I'd take it all day.
Yep.
They're the number 6 team in the country. 7's Michigan State. You watch Michigan State much this year?
I have. Yeah, I have.
I've watched them 3 or 4 times, and they're a Tom Izzo type of team, but I like our chances. Every time I watch them, I go, give me.
Aren't they going to be a 2 seed? Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's my point,
they'll
though,
be a 2 seed.
There should be a difference, though. If you're the 4th overall number 1 seed, you should be playing the 5th best team in the country to go to the Final Four.
Right.
Am I wrong? I mean, if the seedings work out that way, and I know they base it off matchups and how those matchups will play out money-wise, I get it. But my point is I think it's really important for Auburn if we can get that 1 overall, because then they got Tennessee at 8. I don't think Tennessee's going to stay there. I think Tennessee's going to be the 5th or 6th overall seed. Texas Tech's the 9th-ranked team. You seen them play this year?
I haven't seen much of Texas Tech.
I've watched them once. Love that matchup for Auburn. Don't think from an offensive standpoint they match us well at all. And Clemson's the 10th best team in the country, and that's coming out of a terrible ACC season they have.
Yeah.
So, I don't want us to have to see Tennessee in the regional final. Whatever keeps us from seeing someone, or Alabama in the regional final. Keep me away from them in the regional final.
Right.
And I hope the ones that put the brackets together realize that Auburn and Alabama have already played 3 times this year, and Tennessee and Auburn's already played a couple of times. Give everybody else a different matchup, and let the SEC, if they deserved it this year, send 3 or 4 teams to the Final Four. And I know we're not going to get that. I'm wishful thinking, Brett, but that's where we are in the season.
Well, the conference deserves to be spread out because they've been the best conference, and all of them deserve, a path to try to get there.
Maybe that's the point. I'm trying to make is whatever Auburn needs to do the next 2 games to get the easiest path to get to the Final Four is what we all want.
Yep. You're right. John, you're right. That Miami team was a good bit older than Auburn that year, but now it's flipped around. Now Auburn's that team, and like the San Diego State team that made it to the Final Four a few years ago. That was the year that they knocked Alabama out. Was it the Elite 8? They knocked them out, or was it Sweet 16? One of the 2.
I think it was Elite 8.
So one of those, I think it was Elite 8. So, all right, we're up against another break. Everybody stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Discover great deals on Kawasaki motorcycles, watercraft, side-by-sides, and more. Save big on championship-proving KX motorcycles. Get a great deal on iconic Kawasaki jet ski personal watercraft, or take advantage of big adventure for less with savings on our rugged Terex side-by-sides. There's no better time to save on our exciting lineup of Kawasaki vehicles. Visit Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard today, or see all the Kawasaki products at adamsmotorsports.com, where your pleasure is our business.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Let's talk about this Duke resume a little bit. We talked about it on the podcast a couple of days ago. Randy, this is my point. And then last night, the North Carolina Duke game, that was a golden opportunity for North Carolina without Cooper Flagg, and got down big. You and I turned it off and find out that they came back and, had a chance to really win the game. But really, to me, it's not really even about North Carolina. It's about Duke. And we've seen Janai Broome be out this year with Auburn, and Auburn's fought through it and won games. If you take Cooper Flagg off this team, man, it showed last night they get brought way back to the pack without him. And if Con Knippel doesn't do what he does, then they're probably out. And so they cannot have, and Duke is nowhere near the same team. And this was brought up on the podcast yesterday morning. I don't know if you saw this or not, but should, and I know the committee won't because they're number one seed. But if that injury had been bad enough for him not to be able to move forward with Duke, does that impact where they should be seated? Because they're not the same team without him. I know Florida State a few years ago in football, the committee said, you ain't getting in because your quarterback went down. Remember that?
Yeah.
Florida State pitched a fit, and they're like, well, we got screwed, and this is a body of work. But it was the truth, and then Georgia hammered them. And I know they had a lot of guys opt out and stuff, but seriously, what's the difference? If Cooper Flagg were to go down, I hate it for the team. The body of work says yes, but they wouldn't have that body of work without him. So they are not a number one seed without Cooper Flagg. Seriously. Because they played a mediocre – Randy, they've only played 4 ranked teams all year. All year. I mean, Auburn and Alabama played 4 ranked teams in the last 2 weeks.
Well, they're a lot like Kentucky. When you're missing 2 of your best players, I mean, if you took 2 of Auburn's best players off of the roster right now, would we be a lot more concerned than where we are? Of course we were. And look, Duke's missing Malik Brown too.
They miss him, absolutely.
And that cat he's Denver. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Denver Jones. If you take Denver Jones off of Auburn's team yesterday,
nowhere near. We lose.
I mean, so yes, Cooper Flagg's a massive loss, the same as Janai Broome would be for us, but you also got to take into consideration that Malik Brown loss. And so do they come back? And when they do come back, are they at full force? We'll see. Janai, when he came back against Tennessee, he goes for 16 and 14.
But he wasn't nowhere near full force.
But he was good. If you get 16 and 14, it's good enough to win basketball games.
It just tells you how good he is.
Yeah, and Cooper Flagg's going to have to play up to that standard, even if he's not at 100%. If he can be at 80%, like Janai was probably at 60% that day. His 60% was better than anything else we could throw in there. And so we'll see. I don't think he's out for the duration. I think he'll be back for the NCAA tournament, just watching the way the conversations are going on. But he's a little bit more of a slashing, do everything, athletic, NBA-style player than Janai is. So
absolutely. Style of game is going to be different. Him
not having the athleticism that he holds at full force is a lot different than Janai. Janai he's crafty enough to still go get his even when he's not. And I hope he's getting back close to 100%. I mean, if the last 2 games hold any bearing on where Janai is, he's getting real close.
Absolutely. Looking back at Duke, 0% of their games in conference play were played against a ranked opponent. 24% of Auburn's. I don't have Alabama's. It'll be the same amount because, according to Carl Ravitch's math, we're 500 conference. We ended the conference season. I know that's earth-shattering news for all of you out there, but 24% of our conference games were played against ranked opponents. If you look at the ACC right now, they've got 3 teams that are ranked. The SEC has 8 and could have 9. We've had up to 9 because Vanderbilt's been ranked. Mm-hmm. And we can go on down the list, but that's why I say it's a no-brainer, because if you look at Cooper Flagg's numbers and you look at Janai Broom's numbers, they're great. Both of them are very deserving of Player of the Year. But when you look at what the road that Janai Broom had to go down versus the road that Cooper Flagg went down, it's not close, Randy. It's like 2 paths in the woods. One's covered in briars and the other one's been plowed and there's no obstacles, and you get to go down the path with no obstacles, and I've got to walk down the path with all the briars in it. And if we come to the same ending with the same results, then the person that had to walk through the briars ought to get the benefit of the doubt, because you didn't have the challenge on the other side. So that's kind of that to me is why, if it's equal, you look at the resume and you look at what's been done. And again, Cooper Flagg cannot help his opponents, cannot help who's on the schedule. Most of the time in the normal basketball world, it's the ACC with the strong schedule and the SEC with a not so strong schedule. But it's not the case this year.
It's not. But I will say what I said a little bit earlier. I think Alabama and Florida, and I'm going somewhere with this, I think Alabama and Florida are playing the 2 best brands of basketball heading into the tournament. And so I'll bring this up to you. I'll ask, how shocked would you be outside of Alabama, Florida, and Auburn needs to show us something today, but how shocked would you be if Alabama and Florida didn't make the Final Four?
I'd be surprised.
Like, how bad would they have to play against a St. John's, or go down that list, Clemson or Texas Tech or Michigan? How much better on an average day are they than 6 through 10? My answer is they're 20 points better.
Well, the thing about the tournament that's so crazy, and you know this as well as I do, you can show up one day and not be playing good. And it doesn't have anything to do with, you're clearly a better team. I mean, obviously with Alabama, Florida, and Auburn, they're ranked up there for a reason. That means everybody feels like they're the best teams in the country. So they're better than all those teams according to a ranking. Doesn't mean that somebody can't show up and play better or hit everything, like Oakland beating Kentucky last year. That guy, man, he could have walked outside the arena and shot it and gone through a window like the old Larry Bird and Michael Jordan commercial with McDonald's and made it. Bounced the thing off the floor, it would have gone in. I mean, he was falling into the bench and everything. Kentucky was in his face. He was still making shots. That's the crazy thing about this tournament, man. You can be the best team and somebody go do something stupid like that and they can knock you out. I mean, I go back to that Kentucky team that year that went 30-0. And they went to the Final Four and they got beat by Wisconsin in the semifinals. Wisconsin went anywhere close to as good as them. Now, Wisconsin was in the Final Four, but when you looked at those teams comparable, they weren't anywhere close, and they beat them. So that's the thing that scares you about basketball. In football, generally, the better team wins, because it's blocking. It's a lot of different things. In basketball, man, somebody can ride a hot hand and they can shoot your eyeballs out, and he ain't scored nothing all year, and he scores 24 on you in that particular game, and they beat you. So that's the wild thing about basketball. It's the thing that scares you to death about basketball.
Well, but I've been saying all year, the SEC needs to win a national championship this year. That's how good this conference is. And if you have a less than 80% version of Cooper Flagg and Malik Brown for Duke, I don't look and see who's good enough to beat.
You better go grab
all
it.
Of us.
You better go get it.
Well, somebody's going to have to. I hope it's us that goes and gets it. And I dang sure don't want to see Alabama be the one to go get it. But even with that being said, I'd like to see the SEC have that to go back and say that, because right now we have to fight the viewpoint that the SEC can't get over the hump and win a championship. And right now they haven't been able to in way too long. And this year's the best opportunity we've had in a long time to get over the hump.
No doubt. All right, up against another break for TV. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone 256-750-0381 or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
This spring and summer, make your land, farming, lawn, and landscaping needs have zero risk and 100% success with Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. With 0% financing on all our Mahindra tractors, many with up to 84-month terms. Our inventory of Mahindra tractors and farm implements is beefed up, and more are coming in daily. We also have extended 0% terms on Spartan mowers to handle your mowing needs with the best and zero-turn mowers priced to move. At Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, your authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. I want to say a big thank you to both of them. JR's Sports Bar and Grill. We do our Lake Martin Sports Roundup show up there every day. I mean, every week on Wednesdays. We film that show. Had Ricky Pulliam with me, Randy, this past week, and had Malcolm Simmons up there. We've been having some really good guests lately. Had John Mask and a young man from Land Bell, the winningest wrestler in Tallahassee history. He's gone 2 consecutive years undefeated. And so had both of them up there. Looking forward to having Coach Johnson and some of the new coaching staff up there next week. And then that following week, and just kind of giving everybody a schedule, hopefully have Coach Chad McKelvey from Dadeville up there after he really turned things around the latter part of the year for them on football. So we had Chad Keeson up there a few weeks ago to talk some basketball for Horseshoe Bend. So we've had a really good lineup of people coming up. Hopefully have Nick Hand come with us soon to talk about youth sports here in the city. Tune that show in. But my point is, JR's is our home. It's been our home forever, and we really appreciate them. And the food's always been outstanding, the atmosphere. And our good friend Kevin Kill at Sunshine Heating and Air, man, longtime supporter of our programming, and you and I have been a long-time supporter of his business because when my heating and air stuff goes out, he's the guy. So he's got a great technician in Cliff that works for him. So glad to be partnered with those two great businesses and all of the other partners that we have here on our Sports Blitz programming, Randy.
You know, one thing I'd like to pitch in there is we try to cover high school sports here in the state as much as anyone. If you've got individuals, teams, coaches, administrators that we need to be spotlighting more than we are, find us on our AHSA radio network outlets. We give away multiple, upwards of 15 sponsors that we have for Players of the Week throughout the state of Alabama. And if you would like to nominate somebody, reach out to us. Let us know who they are. Local newspapers still are hanging on out there, and thank the Lord that they are, to provide the coverage that they do. Statewide newspapers are almost non-existent out there, so we don't get as much information as probably once did. So it's important that we keep growing what we're doing there, and it's important to me and Brett that high school sports continue to thrive here in the state of Alabama, and so we're working really hard at that, but we need your help out there. So pass that along. We make a lot of posts around that, Brett.
Absolutely.
And I get a lot of recommendations, and I say this all the time. I've yet to get a recommendation where I look down at it and said, did you really send that to me? I mean, do you really think that that's worthy? Every time I get one, I'm like, why do I not know this already?
Right.
But I don't. So send us over. Let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Also, a little bit of a preview. We'll be headed to Chelsea. We're trying to, I think we've got it confirmed, but head to Chelsea this week for our On the Road show. So me and Faith and Maddie will head over there. Our good friend Michael Stallings, Randy, I think he has his Chelsea Hornets at number 1 in the state in 6A baseball. So we'll be going over, and I look forward to catching up with Michael. You know, he's a good friend of both of ours, and he's done a hell of a job at Chelsea, man, as the AD and the baseball coach, and what they've been able to build over there. And they've just got things going in the right direction there. And he's a tremendous leader. Proud of him. Grew up with him over in my grandmother's neighborhood. And we got a lot of stories that we could tell that we won't tell them there. But yeah, I'm proud of him. So I'm looking forward to heading over to Chelsea and covering them this week.
Well, they got an unbelievable pitching staff, his son being one of them. And outside of them bumping up to 7A, which makes it extremely tough when you're right there on the border of any, we know that as well as anybody growing up and living in Elliott City, because we're always on that border. And if you can be the top enrollment of your class like Chelsea is right now in Class 6A, it really helps. But the product they put out there is second to none. They're in the mix every year, at least have been for a decade plus now.
Absolutely.
And they weren't before Michael Stallings. So they're there now. And he's an outstanding leader. He's got the perfect demeanor for it. He had the perfect demeanor to be somebody you wanted to play with, Brett. I mean, he just carried himself the right way and competed the right way as a player, and was one of the best that we've ever had come through our high school. I can make an argument that there's been no better pitchers for the long term as Michael Stallings was. So I'm proud for him too, and I'm proud for to watch so many people from our area that have moved to Chelsea. I mean, that is like
a lot of people have moved.
That is Elliott City North.
It is
for us from where we are, and so many of the people that I know were great athletes growing up, and their kids are going through that program and having a lot of success. So that's good to see.
You know, one thing about Michael, like you said his demeanor. He was a guy that you wanted to play with. Back in the day, a little neighborhood story. Michael was always the mediator, because there'd be some roughhousing going on, and there'd be some tempers flare, as you can imagine, when we'd be out there playing. And some of us didn't handle things quite as well as others. He'd be the one to step in and kind of smooth everything over. He's like, y'all don't do that. He was the even kill guy. So, and he's kind of carried that all the way into what he does now. He does have a great demeanor when he played, and then now the way he coaches, he's a guy you want to play for sure. So,
well, if there's storylines also, Brett, Faith, and the whole crew that are on the road with the AHSA that's brought to you by Drive Safe Alabama and the ALDOT. If you've got storylines that we haven't hit on, send them our way. I mean, we know the Chelseas.
Absolutely.
We know the Spring Gardens. We know the Auburns. we know some of the storylines that are going on here in the state. But if there are ones that you think we need to hit that we haven't, send them our way. It's the same as what we just said. I mean, we can only go off of what we get information on.
You're right.
So if there's some that you think we need to be touching on a little bit more than we have, then that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, to close out this segment with that, my trip to Spring Garden's been one of my favorite. Now, I couldn't find it on a map. If you told me to head towards Spring Garden without a GPS, I wouldn't be able to find it. And it's not a cut on them, but it's a little quaint community, and that's a stretch, okay? Saying it's a little quaint community. You kind of top the hill, and there's the school, and then you walk in the gym and you see a well-oiled machine, and that's the stories that are fun. And then there's nowhere to eat in Spring Garden, Alabama. Coach Austin said, "Hey man, you can go down there to the general store," and I'm like, "I appreciate it, Coach. I don't think that's what we're looking for." And so, but I mean, went down to the general store, and the guy was nice and was able to talk to him, but headed into Piedmont and had a great lunch there because we try to highlight a local place there. But Ace told me, she said, "Well, you can sleep on the general store if you want." She said that's where she gets her biscuit every morning. I said, "Well, whatever you're doing, it's working." So those biscuits must have magic in them because she's such a great player.
Have you seen one better, Brett?
I haven't. No, and personality-wise, man, that was one of the more enjoyable sit-downs. She and I, we meshed really well in conversation. You could tell she's been raised right, and we had a good time cutting up and shooting the basketball. And, again, I think I've told this, and I know we got to get to break, but I said, I need you to get out there with your dad, and y'all act like you're coaching and playing. And she's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" I said, "Do what you do all the time, Ace, and make shots." So she went out there and she hit like 7 threes in a row. She looked at me. She said, "Is that good enough?" I said, "I think I got enough footage now. I think you're good to go." But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's just like second nature. And when you see a player like her, you take that in because they don't come around very often. So, all right, let's get to break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Thunderbolt Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now, let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now, they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's, Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekends. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
2025 RVs are here. Be the first to see the latest and greatest from your favorite manufacturers and lock in special show pricing at your local Camping World. '25 RVs are here. Be the first to see the latest and greatest from your favorite manufacturers and lock in special show pricing at your local Camping World.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Airs. A couple other notes here to talk about. We had somebody text us about the women's basketball position at Auburn. Auburn parts ways with Johnny Harris. We talked about it on the Auburn Blitz podcast a couple of times. One of the things, Randy, is that John Cohen knows Johnny Harris, and he was with her at Mississippi State, and now he's with her over here. Had great things to say about her. But, and I know that she kind of had it going in the right direction, had a couple of good wins last year, beat that LSU team at Auburn, which was good. Went to the NCAA tournament, got bounced in the first round, but had some injuries this year, but really outside of Deanna Gaston, didn't have anybody that contributed whatsoever. And I know it's a young team. Thought she was recruiting well, but I say this all the time. If it's inevitable, it must be done immediately. There's no sense to wait. And if John Cohen thought that the basketball program wasn't heading in the direction that the athletic department wanted it to head, then you go ahead and part ways and move on. So
it's very hard decisions to make. I mean, it's impossible for my mind to not go to football as I talk about Coach Harris with basketball. I did feel like there was some movement to recruit to a level that could get Auburn maybe not all the way to where you see South Carolina and LSU and maybe a few other teams in the conference yearly, but a much better position than what we're in currently. But to me, there has to be a year where you go, okay, we get to year 3 or 4, you still playing sub 500, and I'm still looking out there with the roster, and I still got question marks. Makes my mind go to football this year. It's with Hugh Freeze. I mean, you can make all the excuses in the world for somebody for a couple of years, but you get to year 3, year 4, and you keep looking out there, and there's still some ailments that you don't see getting fixed, then you've got – and, look, I don't know when that decision needs to be made. That's not the reason that I chose a different profession. So I don't wish that I was in John Cohen's shoes by no means. Really difficult, Brett, to make a decision on when the time is right for you to go. But you got to see the daily progress of the program, and you got to see the daily work that's put in. And I'm not questioning work ethic. I don't know where from Adam's house we're at, but I do look down at the record, and the record's not good enough.
Well, it's not. And like you said, I think what we see is the results on the floor and the in-game stuff and maybe the recruiting. We don't see the day-to-day operations and maybe other things. So that's where the decision comes in. And again, I've said this again a million times. I'll say it a million more. If you feel like it is going to eventually happen, then go ahead and pull the trigger. If it's inevitable, it must be immediate. And I think that's kind of what John Cohen saw. He thought giving this program one more year under Johnny Harris was probably going to render the same results. And I think that's what you have to look at. And he had positive things to say about Coach Harris. And she came over here from a Mississippi State program that was rolling at the time. She was a major part of why Mississippi State was doing what they were doing. But the program, like you said, Randy, just wasn't rendering the results. And I think this step back was a little bit more of a step back than the administration wanted to see. So we'll see. Don't really know. There's some names being floated around out there right now, but we'll dive more into that a little bit later on. We'll have that on the Auburn Blitz podcast during the week this week. John wants to know where Spring Garden is. Spring Garden is a little bit north of Piedmont, Alabama. So it is a blip on the radar, but they got a hell of a basketball program up there. Ricky Austin with over 1,000 career wins, got that 1,000th win this year. Coached all three of his kids. He coached the boys, when his two sons came through, and then he coached Ace, who was his last. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different for him moving forward now that he's not coaching one of his own, and, it'll probably the gym will feel empty for him not seeing Ace out there playing anymore. But that's life. She'll move on and play at Alabama, and she's going to be a really good player for them, I expect. And she just brings a tremendous work ethic to the table, and she's not going to be outworked. She's going to do the things that she needs to do to make sure she gets on the floor and is a contributor for Alabama.
Well, she can shoot the cover off the ball. I mean, when you stereotype somebody that you want to point your kids in the direction of watch the way she shoots the basketball, watch the rotation, watch everything about it. That's how well she shoots it, and she can do everything. But, back to one quick point when it comes to that, though. They're a program up there, and you can add a few more, Lauderdale County, Cold Springs, some others around the state where you go, that's just what they do.
That is what they do.
When they're in the second grade, they're playing travel basketball, and they're out competing every weekend with their friends, and they grow up together. And, the gym that I'm in Auburn with my son so much, Aubrey Reese runs that, and Aubrey was blown away because he went up to the state championship games the day that you were calling those, Brett, and Spring Garden was the one that he came back, and he went and found their AAU photo when they were in like the second or third grade with Ace standing in the middle back and all those other players that you saw.
Oh, yeah.
And these just young little girls that are out there playing. And his point was, if you wonder why programs get to the level that one has with Ricky Austin and others, it's because the communities have embraced it.
They have.
And they know what it takes to get to that level of play. And there's some around the state that I had no clue about when you and I first started doing this almost 20 years ago. But now I try to go around the state and say, look, you do realize that your community is not doing it up to the standard that others are.
No question.
Realize that there's a reason that you're not getting to the level that some others are. And there's a few of them that are standouts, and Spring Garden and Piedmont and some of the sports that they're great, and some others around the state are ones that you would point to. And, hey, Montgomery Academy, too. There's one thing about that Montgomery Academy program, Brett, and how great they were. I mean, that was a 3A program that was as good as any 6A school in the state. They could play with some 7A schools, but I'm not going to say they're as good as Hoover because that's the best basketball team I've ever seen. But
good Lord.
I'll take a Montgomery Academy and Hoover. Most of the travel basketball tournaments you're involved in are at Hoover, in that facility. They're constantly playing and competing against each other. And Montgomery Academy is just built by a bunch of guys that play nonstop year-round basketball to go along with a few other sports. And I called that championship game, Brett. Did you have a chance to watch them play?
I did not, unfortunately.
Holy moly, man. Oh,
just really good. I know.
Really
I was
good
keeping up.
basketball
Yeah,
team.
I was keeping up with it, but I didn't get a chance to see them in person. So
We're not there every day, so there's teams.
Right.
See, I didn't get to see Spring Garden. I didn't get to call a Spring Garden. I
Right.
didn't get to see one of their games. But you get a little bit more immersed in it when you call them, because
No
you
doubt.
got to learn a little bit of the history of why they're there and what's going on with it. And so those were a couple of them that really were standouts to me. But have you seen a better high school basketball team than Hoover?
I have not. Let's get to break, and I'm going to keep going with this. But no, the answer to that question is absolutely
Me
not.
neither. Not even close.
All right, final segment coming up right after this.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
About that. So a lot of communities that could pull that off if it was important to them.
Right. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Final segment of the show here, so we don't have very much time. We only have about 3 minutes left in the show here this morning. So recap: Auburn and Alabama both in action in Nashville. Auburn will take on Tennessee at noon, and then Alabama and Florida will follow right after that. That's the Final Four. Tremendous Final Four team bracket there in Nashville. It's like a NCAA tournament Final Four. Next week, you and I will dive into some Auburn football. Spring football practice will start for Auburn. Alabama's already underway. So we'll hopefully get Luke back, and he shared a little bit about that last week on the show. Hopefully me and Faith or you and whoever is going to be able to start covering Auburn athletics more in depth with our Auburn Blitz programming. I had a great meeting with Kurt Sampson, and we've been officially added there to the distribution list. So we'll be getting the information so we can go and cover these press conferences and be at practice ourselves and be able to cover these events for everybody out there. So looking forward to that. Again, I want to thank Jason Caldwell, really a quasi member of our Auburn Blitz team, and just does such a great job of covering Auburn sports. To kind of give you an update there, Auburn baseball got a big win last night over Vanderbilt to get SEC play started. Softball lost in extra innings to the number 5 team, Texas A&M. So they've lost 5 in a row after getting a 20-1 start. So, reality.
Big win for Alabama last night, too. Alabama gets a win, opening SEC baseball game.
Right.
I was thinking, that it's great that our basketball programs are performing the way that they are, but it sure would be nice if our baseball would catch up with it. Well, they got off to great starts. I mean, if I were to tell you Auburn gets off to a start with a win over Vandy, and if you're an Alabama fan and they beat Texas A&M, which is one of the best programs in the country, too, we couldn't ask for much more, Brett. But let's hit real quickly on how you see both of these games playing out. Let's start with Auburn and Tennessee. Your hopes, I know that Auburn wins the basketball game. How does that happen?
You get some of these guys that haven't been contributing in the last 4 or 5 games start contributing again. I mean, in March, you got to have great guard play. That's the teams that win. I like Denver and Miles right now, and Tahad, the trio there. I think Auburn's great there. It doesn't matter which combination gets you over the hump every time you go on the floor. You just need to have a couple of those guys have good games. And then, of course, Janai Broome needs to be the player of the year. If Auburn's to win a national title, he needs to go on a run here. And what do we got to win? 8 games today, tomorrow. Again, you want to win them if you don't, but you want to win 6 in the NCAA tournament. And 6 means you're a national champion. And they need Janai Broome to be player of the year to do that. For Alabama and Florida, man, that is a straight coin toss for me. I don't know who's going to win this game. I think they're dead even. It's going to be a war. I'm not going to call that game. I'm not going to call the Auburn-Tennessee game because I just don't know. I think they're both going to be really good games.
I agree. I mean, I think whichever point guard plays the best. I think I lean towards Alabama in that one, though, Brett. Just because if Philon plays the way that he's playing right now to go along with Mark Sears, it's hard for me to find any tandem that's any better than those two.
All right, let's get off on TV. We got to get out before the TV audience. Again, want to thank everybody for watching and listening. We'll see you next week for the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Landowners, farmers, and landscapers, it's time to fall back this fall at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor on Highway 280 in Alex City. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor has the year's best terms on almost all our Mahindra tractors. Now, get up to 84 months of 0% financing on Mahindra 1600 to 4500 series tractors and package up with all your implement needs. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor also has 0% financing or up to $1,000 rebates on most 24 Spartan zero-turn mowers. The rates can't fall anymore at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor.
Ivy Creek Healthcare is excited to showcase their newest clinic, Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin, located conveniently near the main entrance to Stillwater's on Highway 49 South in Dadeville. Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin is an urgent care with walk-ins welcome. Whether you need lab work, x-rays, or immediate care, find comfort here at Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin. Ivy Creek, here when you need us most. 256-827-5379.
Wintertime in the South is mild compared to other parts of the country, but we still tend to be less active and spend more time indoors. Show your heart some love this winter by getting it checked out at the UAB Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sublett, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/heartrussell.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.